The Secret of the Enchanted Forest. On the distant planet Naka, under the perpetual glow of two suns, lay the kingdom of Karaduho. It was a land ruled by fear, where the cruel Queen Zuluda held an iron grip over her people. With her black crown, imbued with dark magic, she controlled everything. At her side was the sinister city warden, Bela Antlof, who enforced her rule with an army of iron, soldiers soulless automatons, powered by the queen's spells. But no one suffered more than the Toulousean dwarves, a small and furry folk who lived deep in the forested camps of Karaduho. Once free miners of precious crystals, they were now enslaved, forced to work under brutal conditions. Their villages had been turned into prison camps, surrounded by high black towers and guarded by Antlof's soldiers. Escape seemed impossible. Far away in the hidden mountains, the good wizard Bezino plotted to save the dwarves. For years, he had tried to break the queen's curse and free the forest. But the magic of Antlof's protections was too strong, and Bezino was constantly hunted by the queen's soldiers. The wizard's only companion was his young apprentice, a 12-year-old boy named Waldo Mackie. Though inexperienced, Waldo showed great promise and a spark of courage that Bezino admired. A glimmer of hope. One evening, Waldo was studying one of Bezino's ancient scrolls when he came across a legend about a magical key that could break Antlof's spell. The key, it said, was hidden in the heart of the Enchanted Forest, forbidden place shrouded in mystery, and filled with deadly traps set by the queen herself. Master, Waldo said, bursting into Bezino's workshop, "I've found it! The key to saving the dwarves!" Bezino looked up from his cauldron. "The Enchanted Forest?" he said with a frown. "Foolish boy, I searched for that key years ago. It's nothing but a myth." But, Master, Waldo insisted, "What if it's real? We have to try." Bezino shook his head. "The forest is too dangerous, and you are not ready." That night, as Bezino slept, Waldo packed a small bag and slipped out of the cottage. He knew it was risky, but the thought of the suffering dwarves gave him courage. With only his training staff and a handful of spells, he ventured into the shadowy forest. The trials of the forest. The moment Waldo stepped into the Enchanted Forest, he felt the air grow heavy. The trees seemed alive, their twisted branches reaching for him. A thick fog rolled in, making it hard to see the path ahead. Before long, he encountered his first challenge, a massive stone guardian blocking his way. "Only those who answer my riddle may pass." It boomed. Comma. Waldo thought hard, recalling lessons from Bezino, and solved the riddle just in time. The guardian crumbled to dust, allowing him to continue. The next trial was a fiery serpent coiled around a narrow bridge. Its molten breath scorched the air, but Waldo used a water-summoning spell to cool the flames, calming the beast and earning safe passage. Finally, after many hours of wandering, he arrived at a clearing in the forest. There, he saw an ancient tower with a glowing orb at its peak. Inside the orb lay the magical key. But Waldo wasn't alone. Waiting for him was Bela Antlof. The battle for the key. "Did you really think a mere child could outwit me?" sneered Antlof. stepping out of the shadows. His dark magic swirled around him, forming a black aura. Waldo gripped his staff tightly. "I may be just a boy, but I won't let you win." Antlof unleashed a flurry of spells, but Waldo was quick. He deflected the attacks with his training staff and summoned a shield of light. Though he was smaller and less experienced, Waldo had something Antlof lacked: hope. Using all his strength, Waldo cast a spell of pure light, breaking through Antlof's dark defenses. The villain staggered, his magical grip on the key weakening. Waldo seized the moment, rushing forward and grabbing the key. With a final flash of light, Antlof was thrown back, his connection to the forest's magic severed. Waldo held the glowing key tightly as the dark enchantments around the forest began to crumble. Freedom for the dwarves! Waldo returned to Bezino's hut, exhausted but triumphant. Together, they used the key to dismantle Antlof's spells over the prison camps. The iron soldiers fell lifeless, and the dwarves were finally free. News of Waldo's bravery spread quickly, inspiring the people of Karaduho to rise up against Queen Zuluda. Without her dark crown, Zuluda's power waned, and the kingdom was soon free from her tyranny. A new era. The dwarves returned to their homes in the forest, and peace was restored to Karaduho. Waldo became a hero, celebrated across the land. But he didn't stop there. Under Bezino's guidance, he continued his studies, preparing for the next great adventure. For Waldo Mackie had proven that even the smallest of us can rise to greatness when armed with courage, compassion, and the belief in a better world. And so the legend of the secret of the Enchanted Forest lived on, inspiring generations to come.